Previously on Retrocraft Dreams.
I have a monster of a project in mind for you. This is my Cool Times Barbie, straight out of 1989. Her outfit has 6 parts that I'm going to make. It's just a little cropped tank top, but the main thing is the graphic. So I thought, I could knit my first sweater and I could do the graphic design in duplicate stitch embroidery. I'm just gonna make it with some lovely, soft, sparkling white kobu. I do think my gauge definitely tightened up between panels. Fingers crossed, it still fits. We have 2 panels and 3 pieces of ribbing on waste yarn. So here's all the primary knitting done. What do you think of my first sweater? It's great, right? Oh, it's not done? Well, that's what we're gonna do today. Hello and welcome. I'm Lindsay Crane and these are my Retrocraft Dreams, and this is part 2 of my Cool Times Barbie project. And today I am going to be finishing the sweater that I started in my first video. If you haven't seen that one yet, you can find a link to it right up here. In that video, I broadly explained the project and some of my thought processes behind deciding to knit the top of this outfit. In this video, we are going to finish that top. I'm going to do the duplicate stitch embroidery to complete the graphic on the front of the top, and then we'll be seaming it all up and I can finally put this on. We're gonna travel back in time to the intro I filmed last summer, and I will tell you all the details about how we're going to do this. So come back in time with me for just a minute or two. Now, the downside to kobu is the color selection. They're all muted pastels. They're not gonna work for Cool Times Barbie's ice cream. She's got some hot pink and some bright blue, black, and like day glow orange. Her scooter actually has an additional color of purple. So I had to find some other source for, again, cotton. I did go shopping on several places online, and what I ended up finding was Hobbii. Their Friends Cotton had some appropriate colors. After much consideration, I decided to go with the 8-4 because from what I understand on a duplicate stitch, if you can double the strands, they can lay flatter next to each other on the stitches. And we'll see how that goes. And I found these 3 colors, which I think match pretty nicely. But here's the thing. Well, there's 2 things. Firstly, there is the, additional bit of purple. So I did also get a purple, and I need to decide if I want to do the design without the purple or the version with the purple. What do you think? So that was issue number 1 that I need to decide if I want to incorporate purple in the design. The other issue is that when I was ordering from Hobbii, they were out of black. They were out of black. And I was kind of stuck. So I went back to Walmart. This is the only other cotton that I could find. It's a lot thicker, so it would have to be a single strand instead of a double. But then I had my birthday. I don't know if you saw my birthday video. It was a little self-indulgent, but I bought myself a mystery box of yarn that was like liquidated prices. Like, it was a really good deal. And in it was this black cotton. And it is a much finer weight. Yeah, I don't know how to show yarn on camera. I'm still such a noob. So I got really excited that I had some black cotton that was a little more on par with this. Yeah, so then all that remains is the question of the graphic itself. I do need to draw out and plan out the grid chart for this graphic, and then I'll be able to stitch it on. And I have done grids for cross stitch and needlepoint. It might be a little different in knitting because the V's don't make perfect squares. But I might just run with it and let it be like squished one way or the other if it has to be. But yeah, so then I'm gonna need to do that, and then I can stitch it on and have my first me-made sweater. And when the graphic is done, I will also share it with you. So now that you're all caught up, let's get right to it. It is finally time to reacquaint myself with my Barbie project. Let's see where I left off. So this box has all of my Barbie supplies in it, which is why you see wood up there. So we've got the Stitch by Stitch Volume 2 that has the duplicate stitch instructions in it, just in case I need them. This is the back panel, very wrinkly. So I'm going to need to block that, press that, whatever. And then we have the front panel. I think all of this means I can't start stitching it now. I was really hoping to start stitching it now. I did, I thread marked where I wanted the top and the bottom of the design to be, and then I counted the rows in between and used that to set up the grid that I then made my chart on. So these thread marks are still here, so I guess that helps. I did go ahead and finish all the ribbing. So I've got this tangled mess because the instructions called for it to be knit onto waste yarn, and so I used this for my waste yarn, but I fully intend to rewind it and use it for something else. So I didn't cut anything apart. So that's the story behind that. I'm gonna have to sort that out and figure out which one is which, but not today. I don't have to do that today. Here's our girl. Here she is. I still haven't cleaned up her hair. And then we have our colors for stitching. So we've got the 4 Hobie colors that I bought. I had found this Kid Cotton from Euro Baby, but in the time in between me putting this project on pause and today, Kobu finally came out with a black. Even though this is thicker, the way Kobu is, like, it comes apart in these strands like embroidery floss does. So I can still like lay it flat. I could even, if I really wanted to, like pull strands out just like you do with embroidery floss, since I'm stitching with it and not knitting with it. I think I have officially decided to do the purple design. Everything else in here is for the other parts of this project. Yeah, let's do it! Y'all, I'm a little bit traumatized at the moment. I was gonna start duplicate stitching my sweater tonight, and I went through all the effort of like dry blocking it so that it wouldn't be too damp and I didn't have to worry about, you know, what would happen to the cotton. You know, the cats walked on it a few times. So I went out to make sure it was dry, fully dry, only to discover that the cat used it as toilet paper. A full room and a half away from his box and 3 rugs in between, and he jumps onto the coffee table to use my white sweater. Trauma. Okay. It did wash out. It wasn't like a massive streak, but you know, it's a white sweater. And so, yeah, so it did wash out, but it is now fully wet. So I won't be able to start the duplicate stitching tonight. So yeah, that's fun. Okay, a little bit of an update. This is one night of stitching. Well, one movie's worth of stitching. I decided I really was unhappy with the amount of puckering that I had over here, so I decided to try it out on this section with just one strand. I'm not thrilled with the white peeking through, but I think overall it looks much, much better. So I did go ahead and redo this, and I'm going to continue with just one strand. Okay, another quick update. We have whipped cream. This is a lot more squished than I anticipated. Like, I figured it would be squished, but this is like half of the normal height. And I don't think I mind that, except on the cherry, which is, you know, charted to end there. So I do think I'm going to have to pull this out again and rechart the cherry so that, whoops, so that at least the cherry can actually be round. That'll be more of an olive shape. So this is me undoing 3 or 4 hours of work because I was too lazy to convert a cross stitch chart to a rectangular knitting one, because I mean, I knew it would be squished, but I didn't think it would be this squished. This is on order of like, I don't know, the whipped cream is almost half the height that it was supposed to be. I thought it would be, you know, more along the lines of like a 2-to-3 ratio, and instead it was like 2-to-1. But, you know, this is one of the reasons why I did it in duplicate stitch anyway, because I knew it would be maybe not more time efficient, but certainly easier to undo this than to like reknit the whole sweater. Considering, you know, I'm still so new at it. So I don't think, I don't know, I guess I feel a little justified in that decision. But bright side is that the new chart is like, oh, I forget what the numbers were. Something like 17 or 18 stitches narrower, which is going to equate to a whole lot fewer stitches that I'm going to have to put back in. I think it'll be worth it in the end. So I'm just gonna put on a movie and pick away. Just keep picking. Just keep picking. I think it's a nice day for a white sweater. It's a nice day to start again. Okay, well, I've got the whipped cream and cherry all done back up, although I still feel like it's squished from the design. I'm not entirely sold on my tension, but I think it'll look better in the bigger spaces. Need to undo all that. It's done! Oh my gosh, it actually looks so good. So now I need to wash it and probably block it. We're not even going to talk about these ends right now. I absolutely at no point left my sweater uncovered to dry, so let's see if we're dry enough now. Okay, good. That took just, you know, an entire 2 days. I finally have 2 dry parts of a sweater. My instinct says I should probably handle this mess first, but in the interest of time, I'm gonna put the sweater together and probably weave in all these ends after this video posts. So, let's see how this goes together. And so, stitch by stitch to right side of neck edge after unraveling waist yarn. So I'm not actually picking up any stitches. I'm just sewing the live stitches to the sweater. So, this is too low. Even with the ribbing, it's still not gonna come up to where this tank top is. And this is about where I prefer my necklines to be. I think I'm gonna like pull up, I don't know how much I can actually get away with doing because it's gonna make the ribbing not fit the same. I might not have worried about it if not for the fact that I think it's gonna stretch out, and if I don't take it in now, it's gonna end up just drooping way lower than I can tolerate, and then I'll never wear it. And I'm already never gonna wear it because it's white. Oh, it's looking so cool though. Look how 80s that is. Ah! Here it is, all seamed up, and it's actually a little too big. Like, I don't mind that, but I have no idea how that happened. If this was getting sleeves, this would be fine, but as it is, I'm not going to be able to wear it without a tank top underneath, which I don't know that I would do that anyway, but it'd be nice to have the option. Apparently, I was so concerned with making sure it fit around my waist that I forgot to make any adjustments to make it fit up top. It is supposed to be a straight sweater, boxy style. However, I am still pear-shaped. I have now redone the seams. I have tapered from here now to about there. We'll see though how the ribbing fits, because the ribbing might now be too long. I have nixed the entire waist yarn on this piece and put in a lifeline instead. Just gonna probably still be a disaster. I don't know if I'm doing this right, but I've gone about an inch in more than 10 minutes, so I think I'm finally getting the hang of this. He's gonna be doing this for a while. Well, I have lost yarn chicken and lost the opposite of chicken with the ribbing. The other side I only had like 2 or 4 extra stitches that I had to like hide behind the other piece. I don't know what I did differently. That's also despite like squeezing in a few too many stitches here, so it's kind of curling and puckering, which really stinks because this is the front side. I still have the neckline to do, and oh, this is taking so long. While I very much like hand sewing, I do not like this. Twinsies! I can't even tell you how much I love how this part, at least, turned out. Not gonna lie, I did not enjoy all of this. The grafting, bane of my existence. Now, the construction is a bit of a hot mess. In my defense, it is my first time constructing a knit sweater, sleeveless or not. Probably would have actually turned out better if it had called for like picking up stitches. It is true I did not help my case by taking in the sweater at the shoulders and the sides so that it didn't actually fit properly. If I had been smart and really wanted to take the time, I probably should have just reknit the ribbing. I don't have enough knowledge to be able to figure out how long that would have needed to be anyway. But that part, like the overlap, I dealt with that. I can deal with the overlap. The problem I had, I think, is basically just not having the experience to know yet how much the ribbing needs to stretch or not stretch. Like how many stitches apart do I, you know, attach it? Like I didn't really have a good grasp on that. But I'm really mystified because this is the first one I did and it came out just fine. There's almost no overlap. It's not understretched, like it's not bunched up too much anywhere, and it looks fine. Like, you know, it's perfectly serviceable. This one, on the other hand, has a lot more overlap and is more bunched up. I don't know how that happened. If it didn't stick up, I wouldn't care. Like, this is the part that I don't like. It's a little better after I ironed it, but there's too many ribs right up here at the apex of my shoulder. So if I have the time between now and when this whole project is done and the mental fortitude, I might redo this shoulder, at least back up to the apex so I can like get that to lay flatter. That's like the main thing. But yeah, it wasn't gonna happen for this video. But for the most part, like it's still wearable and like it's not too low. It's high enough. Like the fit, I'm really enjoying the fit. I made so many mistakes. I can't even tell you how many times I had to undo and redo not only the duplicate stitching, but the grafting of the ribbing. Like oh boy, I became very good friends with frogs during this project. Ironically, like the sweater knitting part, the following the pattern part was the easy thing. That was the thing that I'd never done before and that I was most trepidatious of. You know, last summer when I started this project, I was most worried about how to follow a knitting pattern and will I understand the instructions. That part was easy. It's the ribbing that threw me the most. I will say, never again am I holding stitches on waste yarn only to like sew them on. Like they were just popping out left and right. I felt like I couldn't breathe or move. I struggled to understand the reason behind doing rows of waste yarn knitting rather than a lifeline. I couldn't figure out how that was supposed to work to be able to sew it on without your stitches popping out. Unless you're trying to sew it on with your waste yarn in place, which could make sense. Maybe that can work, but I was too concerned with like piercing that yarn and then I wouldn't be able to get it out. So I don't know. Here's the thing. This hurt. I don't know what my issue was, but in trying to like do this grafting, basically, I had to like bend over it and I just couldn't really find a way to be comfortable and get that work done without stooping over, which was really hard on my back. I've got some like back issues from preschool teaching, basically, and bending over child height tables day in, day out. So whenever I get my back in just the wrong position, I can only work for a little while at a time doing that. So I was finding that as long as this was taking on its own, it also required me to take frequent breaks and, you know, long breaks to allow my back to recuperate. So that wasn't fun. But in the end, like I am like so stoked at how this turned out. Like, oh, I don't know. I'm really happy with it. So, okay, so my next episode will not be Barbie. I probably need to catch up on some other projects that I've been neglecting. I still owe you a Memphis Milano sampler needlepoint stitch along. Gonna get to work on that. My next Barbie piece, I think, will be the pants. I think we should like build the outfit from the inside out, yeah? So I'll probably do the pants next. I just gotta find a really good weekend to sit and sew. And I really do hope, though, my goal is to have this entire outfit done by August. Halloween at the very latest. Like, if this isn't done by Halloween, I'm come and get me. I don't know. But I'm gonna intersperse with my other projects too, because it's not gonna be all Barbie all day long. And as promised, I said I would share this pattern with you. They're not gonna be like refined and super, you know, fancy or anything. I will share both the square graph and the knitting graph. The square graph was just made in Floss Cross, which is a free program you can use online. It has not been tested because, as you saw, I ended up not using that one. Although I might. I'm still undecided what I'm going to do for the earrings. So I will make that available, as well as the rectangular grid, which I just made in Photoshop. I don't even know if it's numbered. Like, it's not anything fancy, but it was enough for me to use, so you could do it too. So yeah, I will put those up on my Ko-fi page. Yeah, I don't know. You can find those in the link down below. There's really not anything else there at the time of posting this video, so it should be pretty easy to find. If you want to make sure you catch the future parts of this project, do make sure you hit the subscribe button. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this chaotic disaster of a project that actually turned out pretty okay. And I do hope you'll join me next time. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you there. Bye. So many props today. Insert footage. It's a nice day to start again. It's hard to know like how much I can actually sing it, so I'm singing badly on purpose. She's squeaky. Barbie got arthritis. Did I say it all? I don't know if I said it all. Toby sleeping.